Liberia. We are here to talk responsible politics, and you are gladly welcome. In studio with me, I have two outstanding guests, or panelists, if you like, and our topic is Microscoping Liberia's opposition bloc. We know that the opposition should be the alternative. The opposition should be that hope when the current government does not resemble one. But is the opposition really that hope? Are they projecting themselves as the alternative the people desperately need? Because I have a strong opinion that the government that we have today is not up to the task. And so the people have to look somewhere, no other place than the opposition. But is the opposition giving them hope? That is why we'll be looking for in this critical conversation. And it is good that you are here. Do us that usual favor quickly by hitting that share button as we get into this conversation. Now, let me welcome my guest in studio with me. I have Mr. Anthony Gaye. Mr. Gaye is a political junkie, he will say to himself. He follows these issues. He likes the politics like I do. But hey, we do it because we want a better country. Mr. Gaye, welcome to Focus on Liberia. You on mute, bro.
Thanks so much for having me, Mr. Sonny Sia, and the family of Focus on Liberia. It is a pleasure to be on your platform. This is one of the respectable platforms in the diaspora, and I'm glad to be on here to share a little bit of what we have to offer as an opposition bloc in Liberia.
Thank you, Mr. Anthony Gede. I know him to be a member of the ANC, a member of the COP, and by default, a member of the CPP. I mean, what a better guest, can we look for in this conversation about the opposition? He is perfectly suited for this conversation. Maybe he will be playing defense. My other guest is Mr. Sekou Kelleh. He appeared on Focus on Liberia in our series, Where is God? And he did excellent, and many people got to know him. And I mean, I can say to you, he is becoming a constant guest here. Mr. Kelleh, welcome to Focus on Liberia.
Thank you for having me, Mr. C. It's always an honor to be on this show. You guys are doing very, very well informing the people, and this is one of the principles of democracy, to inform and to educate. So thank you for having me.
As always, it is a pleasure to have you, my friend, to come and drop some knowledge, as somebody will say. But we are here to drop some knowledge politically and look into the closet of Liberia's opposition bloc. Mr. Sekou Kelleh is based in Canada, and he is an adherent to African spirituality. I like that stuff. I have to be getting some knowledge from him. But that is not why we are here. We are here to go into the closet of the opposition. And so let's get started, folks. The collaborating political party represents the biggest chunk of Liberia's opposition bloc. So our discussion will merely be centered around the CPP and other political parties or auxiliary pressure groups that form part of the opposition. So let's get started, gentlemen. And we want to know from the way we see the CPP generally. Let's start with you, Anthony. What is the general sense in terms of political, redemption for Liberia that you see in the CPP?
Well, as you have said, the CPP is the biggest political opposition bloc in Liberia. Absolutely, statistically, it is true. That is one of the reasons why when they speak of opposition, by default, people look at the CPP, and unlike the rest of the other opposition political party that are in existence in Liberia. So the CPP, whether positive or negative, always take the responsibility of being blamed or being accredited. So it is a dual-edged sword, and we are glad that we are in that position to be, reference in that matter. whether good or bad, we will take full responsibility of all the things that come along with it, because you can't take one and forsake the other. And that's why you find in our political dispensation today, or in our political spectrum as it relates to Liberia, many people will rather take the good and neglect the bad. But we in the CPP, we take the good and the bad at the same time. So when they say opposition in Liberia, by default, people look at the CPP. They don't see other political parties that are not part of the ruling party who are also considered oppositions. So yes, we are the alternative to the Liberia's problem. We are all the alternative. We are sophisticated. We are competent. We have individuals who are, who have the discipline to move our nation forward. That's one thing we promote in the CPP is competency. It's not just about who know you or what your family dynastic is. It's not about popularity. It's about competition. That's why you find most people sometimes they don't see themselves fit within the CPP, and they try to back away. Some of them have joined, and some of them take the back away because competency is the way forward in the CPP.
Mr.
And so,
go ahead.
So by saying that is, do we have the alternative to the circumstances of Liberia today? I would say absolutely yes, we do. From the onset, we gave this current administration a whole 12 months period for not criticizing, giving the ruling party the opportunity to gel within itself, giving the ruling party the opportunity to be able to have their feet rooted, so to speak, for lack of a better term, giving them the opportunity to put in place what they already have, if there was any agenda, so to speak. All of those things we took our step back.
Mm-hmm.
But after a year, and all we saw is this ruling party continue to blame the previous administration. The Liberian people went to the polls over 1 minute and gave the CDC led administration the opportunity to leave.
Anthony, thank you. I wanted you to give me your general assessment of the opposition bloc in terms of alternative and hope for Liberia, and I think you did that. Thank you so very much. We will be going into the details. Whether or not your opening statement here is on point, we will find out. We want to know whether this opposition is actually the alternative or has anything like hope in it to offer the Liberian people. I will assume Mr. Sekou Kelleh will completely disagree with you, but I have to ask this question, Sekou. Based on your general assessment of the opposition bloc, do you smell, do you sense, do you see, do you imagine any alternative and hope given the way they have conducted themselves over the time?
Yeah, thank you very much, Mr. C. I think what we call opposition today in Liberia is a group of people that came together, called as the collaborating political parties, since the CDC came to power. When the CDC was in the opposition, they tried several times, it didn't work, but now they formed themselves and they appear, like a real opposition this time around, and they call themselves CPP. Mm-hmm. I call them a Pandora box. The opposition bloc in Liberia is a Pandora box that we need to open, because there are so many things in there that if you don't open it, you will think that it's a group of people with the same ideology, the same philosophy that really come together for the good of the nation, or they're trying to actually contribute to the politics of the country. I say the so-called CPP is a Pandora box, and we will open that box. And that's what I'm going to do tonight. I will open it and tell you the different groups of people that are coming together from different history, different philosophy, and different background. They don't have the same vision. And because they don't have the same vision, their dream or whatever they are selling to Liberian people is dead on arrival. And I will prove that tonight.
Wow. Anthony, you have work to do. He's saying the CPP, the collaborating political party, or the opposition bloc, is a Pandora box. And this is what comes to my mind anytime I hear that word Pandora box, something that is waiting to explode. Would that be the case? But gentlemen, we cannot talk about the opposition being the alternative without looking at the institutions that make the opposition and the leaders within that opposition bloc. So I want us to start with the political records if there are any minuses or pluses, the political potentials, the character, and the politics of these political parties and their leaders. In this case, let's start with Joseph Yuman Boaka of the UP. Does Mr. Boaka have the record? Are there political pluses on his side? Are there potentials? What is the character? What is the politics? And what is the politics of the Unity Party? Let me start with you, Anthony, saying you from that angle.
Absolutely. I see this collaboration as a marriage.
Okay.
When you see a woman or a female, you go into a relationship with a female not having everything 100% perfect.
Okay.
But there are qualities within that individual that will make you to take the leap step and say, you know what? We were dating, now I want to engage. And after engagement, I want to get into a marriage. Knowing fully well everything about that person is not perfect, but there are qualities within that person that fit your needs, that fit what you are about. So having said that, yes, Honorable Boakai has the character, the ability as a leader, and the integrity as a leader to be a part of the CPP. He has vast experience when it comes to government. He has the leadership discipline. He also has the maturity and wisdom. When you form your team, the team becomes a body, and the body has many parts, but one body. And each body part has a function, and very important functions. And you will not know the importance of your big toe until it's hurting, and then you know that it has something to do with your balancing when you stand up. You will not know the importance of your eyelashes unless somebody put it out and you see the breeze going into your eyes.
Mr. Gaye.
So everyone, yeah.
Mr. Gaye, you're talking about the record. Let me come in. Talking about the record of Omen Boaka. One of the things that people look for in a leader is the ability to be able to negotiate, the ability to be able to build consensus. Mr. Boaka could not even secure the political blessing of Ellen Johnson Sirleaf that he loyally served for 12 years. Talking about record, Mr. Boaka has been in government for the past 40 years. And he has nothing to show for it.
Absolutely.
And this is the man you think Liberia can count on now? After he said that they have squandered a lot of opportunities, now that age has caught up with him, does he have the energy and political stamina to get this job done?
Yes. So here's the thing. As per the relationship between Honorable Boaka and ex-president Sirleaf, it is something personal. An individual can decide today they want to walk out. We have seen people being in marriages for 45 years and their wife say, you know what, I'm out of this thing. And their husband say, I'm out of this thing. These are personal decisions that people can make, and they are at liberty to make that decision. So you cannot characterize because he was unable to secure the endorsement of Madam Sirleaf, so that make him an incompetent leader. I don't think so. It is one person decision, and she has every right to support or not to support Honorable Boakai. However, though, that does not take away his vice leadership maturity that he has over the past years. Look, he is a mentor when it comes to the political arena of Liberia, when it comes to governance of Liberia. He is a mentor, and you need a caliber of his kind to be around to nurture the rest of the other people, to guide and truth. Someone may have the expertise, but may not have the political experience.
So, Mr. Gaye, in terms of numbers, what do you think Boaka brings to the table now that he couldn't deliver in 2017?
Good, absolutely. So let's look at numbers. I like the fact because statistically, if you look at CDC, Congress for Democratic Change, not the coalition, they came second. They took first place with 38%. That includes the Congress for Democratic Change, the NPP, and the UDP, right? So Boakai alone with the UP came second to him. If that was not of his ability to be that true leader, he would not have been second.
All right.
Had it been that we had a CPP today, we wouldn't have had CDC as a ruling party. You understand?
All right,
so
thank you.
politically, by numbers, Boakai has an influence in the political arena. If you're going to look at the 2017 record, that's the only record we have right now.
So he has a lot of potential in terms of numbers, right? Yes or no?
Yes.
All right, thank you. Let me come to Mr. Kelleh here quickly. Sekou, I mean, these leaders carry a lot of power with their followers. Do you see Boakai in terms of his political record to be somebody the CPP can rely on?
Yeah, first of all, let me lay out the basis of this argument. I appreciate the fact that Liberia is moving towards, hopefully, moving towards two-party system. This is why everyone pray for, because in democracy, you have to mature. The nation has to grow and mature to a point where you have 2 or 3 parties.
Right.
Because the essence of having political parties is to build ideologies and philosophy. You see, in various political parties, to build your own plan, that this is what my ideology says, and this is the plan I have. If you elect me, I will implement it. So the fact that you have so many political parties is an indication there is no plan, that people don't have plan. They just want to grab the national cake. So I'm hopeful that Liberia is moving toward two-party system. Maybe it would be a good development. But will that happen soon? I say no. We are dealing with a Pandora box called the CPP. Now, Joseph Boakai. Joseph Boakai was Minister of Agriculture from 1983 to 1985. Joseph Boakai was Vice President from 2006 to 2018. He's one of the longest serving civil servants in Liberia. He had experience. He's personally, he's a good old man, soft-spoken speaking. He's very respectful. We know him as a good person. But Joseph Boakai represents an institution, a political institution called the UP. And Joseph Boakai, from his background, I put him in a branch we call the bourgeoisie in Liberia. The bourgeoisie come from the establishment group. This group, they are the one who from 1980 or from 70 to the 80 or to this point, they have been at the forefront of everything in Liberia. And when they lose power through election, this gone time when CDC took over, they are angry. They want to come back. They want to be back again where they will be in charge. So Joseph Boakai is part of the bourgeoisie. He's part of the establishment. He has nothing new to offer to Liberian people. He has nothing, no idea that he can bring on the table that he has not introduced before under LA or as an agricultural minister. When nation evolve, we evolve with ideas. We evolve with new things that come on the table. If you get Joseph Boakai a computer right now and tell him to download certain software, download an app, he won't know how to do it. Now he wants to run an economy in this age of social media. If you even ask him, now, what's your password of your Facebook, I'm sure he doesn't know it. With due respect to the old man, I think his time has passed, and the fact that he belongs to the establishment group, he has nothing to offer to the generation.
And so, Sekou, you are saying that the old man has nothing in his arsenal except for a political sympathy that others have for him, for which they might bless him with their vote. But in terms of governance know-how, he is depleted. No. Is that what you're saying?
Yes. Because look, when you listen to Joseph Boakai, the last time he campaigned, I love his campaign slogan was road, 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 infrastructure. But this is a man that been vice president from 2006 to 2018. If you are a man of principle and you are in a boat and the boat is sinking, you speak out. You do something. You speak out, and people know you are a man of principle, and this is what you will do if you are there tomorrow. But you cannot cheer on the captain and say, yeah, it's good. Then eventually the boat capsizes, you come out, you say, yeah, you can be a better captain. No, you were in there and you were the assistant, and things were going bad. The boat was sinking. You didn't say a word. So Joseph Walker have been tested, and he has been tested, and they have failed. He belonged to the establishment according to the bourgeoisie, and there are two parties that belong to that bourgeoisie group: the ALP or Banana Ure. Ure was a maritime minister or whatever. Ure also come from the establishment. He comes from that bourgeoisie group. Their intention is to get their national cake back because they feel that governance is their inheritance, that power is their inheritance.
So now that you brought
removing them
Ure
from the
in,
milk and honey, they want to get back. That's all their aim. They don't have a plan.
So now that you brought Ure in, he doesn't have anything to offer the Liberian people. Is he just looking for any opportunity to get piece of the pie, and he does not have anything for Liberia?
Ure worked in the maritime since the time of Charles Taylor. Ure was part of the group of people that contributed, to a lot of. I don't want to bring in a lot of stuff concerning the Civil War, how the UN banned him and all that. But what I'm saying is his party, his ideology and philosophy, everything represents the establishment, the bourgeoisie. He was one time one of the richest men in Liberia. Where did he get his money from? It was through the Liberian people, through public funds. So this man wants to get back to power because losing power means that he lost most of his assets, his property. He wants to get back so he can enrich himself again. So they are not having any plan. It's not that they love Liberians and they have new ideology or philosophy they want to bring on the table. Ask them today, what will you do differently than the ruling coalition? Not that I love the coalition, I will come to them later. But if you ask them, what will you want to do differently than the coalition? They'll just say, we will do it better. They have the idea that those in power are stupid or uneducated. Granted. But what's your plan? They don't have a plan. They just want to grab power and then come back and be on the scene and then be in charge. And they will bring nothing new on the table. Trust me, because they've been tested.
Thank you. Sekou Kelleh there, making his point. Anthony, remove yourself on mute. I'm coming back to you. Folks in cyberspace, again, welcome to Focus on Liberia. We are discussing the topic Microscoping Liberia's opposition bloc. We want to know whether the opposition is actually the alternative they are claiming to be. Do they really have a plan? Sekou is saying they don't have one. And some of them are even recycled politicians. He's calling them the bourgeoisie who are just coming around to taste the cake again because they know how sweet it is. But Anthony is saying they have all the qualification. Anthony, does the opposition have a plan? We have not heard any plan. It took you almost 2 years to come up with a single agreement. When will you come up with a plan for this country? Ching presidents have never helped us. Any plan?
Absolutely. We do have plans, not just plans.
It's in the bag. I haven't heard about it.
Hold on.
Okay.
Let me respond to Sekou real quick there. It's easy to call people names and all the different. That's fine. That's his asking that he has to present into lunch today. That's fine. But let me say this. Let me speak to the circumstances of Mr. Ure first, and I'll speak to Honorable Bloc circumstances. So outside of government today, Mr. Ure is the second highest employer in Liberia. That is not a myth. It's the truth. He is the second highest employer in Liberia in terms of job opportunity. So to suggest that, if you have any record how Mr. Ure got his money, population, my brother, simple as that. I'm not going to speak about how he got his money because I don't know how he got his money. Okay? I know you work for Maritime.
So, Anthony, are you trying to defend Ure now just because you and him are in the same political grouping? Is that why you're trying to defend him here?
Here's the thing. When Ure was Maritime boss, I was 6 years old, my brother.
Okay.
I was 6 years old. I can't speak of things that I have no proper document of. Okay? But
do you have proper document, Anthony? Do you have proper document that outside of government, he is the second highest employer in Liberia? Something without the record I can dispute.
Yes, he is. He is. Outside
so
of government,
are you telling
Liberia,
me? Are you telling me that he got more people in his employ than even Firestone?
Firestone. I mean, individual. As an individual. I'm not talking about company. As an individual, he's the second highest employer in Liberia as an individual outside of government.
Well, that remains to be true, but let me give you a chance to make your point. Go ahead.
So let me make the point here. Now, when they speak of CPP, they only look at Honorable Bloc. CPP is made up of 4 political parties. Okay? But every time they speak of CPP, they narrow it strictly to Honorable Bloc. That he's all and he's this and that. That's all they speak of. Nothing else. Now, CPP is not just Honorable Bloc. In as much as we appreciate his wisdom on the team, he's not the only person on the team. He speak about.
We agree, Anthony. I thought you addressed that. Now you are about to address the issue of plan. You said you guys had a plan. Where is that plan? Yes. We haven't heard about it.
So let me say this to you. Mm-hmm. We cannot come like the CDC that say, "Oh, we came to government and we don't have a plan." I can tell you for a fact.
Anthony, let me give you the opportunity again.
Hold on now.
Hold on, Anthony. Let me give you the opportunity again. Does the CPP, does the opposition bloc have a plan?
They do have a plan.
Where is it?
The plan will be released to the public in due time, but there is
so
a plan.
You don't have a plan. You have an unknown plan that is not a plan.
What?
Your plan is not known, so you don't have a plan.
Oh, because it is not known, they will not have a plan?
No. You don't have a plan.
Absolutely not.
Who you have the plan for? You have it for Liberia, right?
No, I want to disagree.
But let me give you the opportunity to respond. I don't want to hijack you. Go ahead, brother.
But that's what you try to do, but that's okay. And I'm here as a guest. I'm not here to fight you. So here's the thing. Mm-hmm. No one comes to our table unless CDC did that. But none of us will come to the table with our plan. Mm-hmm. Even when you and I spoke about the circumstances with the issue of the mayoral position being an elected position, outside of it being an appointed position, I can give you a roadmap as to how that plan will work. The first 100 days of how things should be done in Monrovia and all the different things. Even before the ANC joined the CPP, ANC had the first 100-day plan, the 6-month plan, the 24-month plan, and all of the different things laid out before the ANC even joined the CPP.
And where can I access that plan?
We're not going to release the plan to the general public.
I'm asking you about the ANC plan you talk about that the ANC had. Where can I access it?
On the ANC website.
Thank you. Go ahead.
So I can tell you for a fact that, listen, even before the CPP formed this agreement, the framework document, Mr. Cummings also went on the media and gave out 15 economic pointers, both short-term and long-term goals as to how to resolve the economic crisis of Liberia. The first response from then Sam Mana, who was then the press secretary of President Weah, called Mr. Cummings a Coca-Cola seller. We are not here to sell Coca-Cola bottle. That was his response on the Executive Mansion website. So we are not only here to criticize, but we will provide idea as to how our government needs to coordinate ourselves to give the Liberian people the opportunity to strive. We cannot be a beggar in our own country. That is unacceptable. Okay? Liberia has resources that can boost the economy of Liberia. And number one thing is the agriculture. If we invest into agriculture for the next 3 years, my brother, we will bounce back.
Mr. Gaye, even the CDC that is performing miserably had talked about agriculture. Ellen Johnson Sirleaf had talked about agriculture. We have heard it was being used as a sign of seriousness on the part of political parties and their leaders. And yet Liberia is hungry. But this is what I want to pin you on. And I'm going to be a little tough on you. And this is why, so you will know where I'm coming from. Anthony, the problem we have in our country, my brother, is because anytime a political party is coming to power, they don't have a plan. They get to power, they get confused, they don't know where to start. That was the case of the CDC. Our people are in limbo politically and economically. So the fact that the CPP, without any stretch of imagination, is likely to come to power, I want to see a plan. I don't want to be scratching their heads. So my question is, you you confirm here, or you make big news here that the CPP has a plan, or the opposition has a plan. Who can I call within the political party, the collaborating political party, to confirm that you guys have a plan that is yet to be released? Who can I call to confirm that?
I can tell you for a fact, I'm not going to give you a specific name, but I can tell you for a fact, there is a plan. Because let me say this to you. We will not come on here. I personally, Anthony Gaye, will not join a group without knowing what the potential of the group is. Okay? I won't join a group that will not deliver. However, you spoke about people talking about agriculture, but we heard this story before, but nothing has been done. That is true. You know why? It was underfunded. Underfunded. You cannot give $4 million United States dollars to a whole nation for agriculture and expect the nation to strive. Liberia agricultural budget currently is $4 million. It cannot solve the economic problem. Look at rice import alone. Around 400 million plus is spent on rice import alone annually. Think about it. Just to import rice. Rice is our staple food, and we spend over $400 million a year. Then the current government allocate only $4 million towards agriculture. What are you talking about here? How are we going to make that move? You cannot feed your own country, let alone you allocating money that is not even sufficient to move the needle, so to speak. So let me say this to you.
Mr. Gaye, I am 100% with you, and this is what politicians come and gone continue to do. Describe the problem, describe the problem, describe the problem, win the minds of the people, and come with no plan, and then let the people down. So for you to be telling me that you can't give me a name in your institution to confirm that unknown plan you're talking about, that kind of intellectual eloquence, it baffles me. Your response.
Well, let me say this to you.
Yeah.
The plan will be disclosed in a due time. The plan will be disclosed. First of all, we are a collaborating party, and in a collaboration is different. When you are collaborating, it's like you're renting a big house. One big house, everybody has a room in a big house. Everyone has a room. You are not like a one family. You are collaborating. A merger, we are working to our merger. When we merge as one political party, then all of these little pieces will gel together. But right now, we are collaborating. And so all of the in other words, everyone is protecting their assets. ANC had their plan. ALP has her plan. UP has her plan. LP has her plan. So everyone now is holding on to their plan because we are all roommates. We are not one body yet. We only collaborating on political issues.
You are an alliance now. It is official. You were certificated by NEC the other day.
No. So right now, we are still a collaboration. Look at the word collaboration. Collaboration doesn't mean.
All right, Mr. Gaye, I will get back to you. Let me now make Sekou.
You have a mutual understanding. You have a mutual understanding. Hold on. You have a mutual understanding on political. Okay. All of ANC to CPP, political party.
Let me go to Sekou. Let me go to Sekou. Thank you. I'll come back to you.
We are still individual parties within the framework until we move the needle to the next step. In other words, we are engaged. We are not married. And so when we married, then they want out for me.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Gaye. You are not married yet, so you are suggesting to me that.
I just put it in the layman terms so you understand that.
Yeah, please conclude. I want to get to Sekou. Thank you, Mr. Sekou, Mr. Kelleh. You see that?
So unfortunate for my friend Sekou, when you hear the word CPP, you only by default he see Boakai. That's all he sees. He doesn't see the other elements.
Thank you.
And the Benin government has Ellis Coming been in government before. Ellis Coming has not been in government before.
Thank you.
You disqualify Ellis Coming by default and not even including him. That is a disrespect.
Thank you.
And I hope you realize that the CPP is not just Honorable Boakai, and we value Honorable Boakai.
Thank you, Mr. Gaye. Thank you. Let me come to Sekou. We'll come back to you. We're here for some time. We will have to talk this. And
No
Sekou, you
problem, my
just
brother.
listening
Let me
to
mute my phone.
you just listening to my good friend Mr. Anthony Gaye talking about potential. Georgia have potential. Ellen had the highest potential politically and internationally. These people, we can argue that they have failed. So don't tell me about potential. And look at the other intellectual eloquence here. He's talking about they are roommate. Are you guys still roommate? So, Sekou, I want you to come in here. They planting here.
Yes.
Yeah, come in.
Thank you very much. First of all, he accused me. He said, "Oh, I didn't talk about the other, collaborators and then the other political party. I only spoke of Wakai. I just told you in my opening statement that it's a Pandora box, and he just confirmed it. Okay, and it's going to explode. There's a lot in the Pandora box. You have a lot of trouble, a lot of things in there, and there are needles. There are a lot of stuff. It will explode. Now he just telling us they are married. They are not married. He's up and down. Now let me deal with the second group. I just told you the first two. That is Joseph Boakai and Banana Ure belong to the group I call the establishment, the bourgeoisie. They only want to return back to the milk and honey which they are used to. They have no plan. The second group there, I call them the reformed establishment who call themselves progressive. I call them reformed establishment, but they call themselves progressive. That is the ANC of the man from Coca-Cola,
Mr. Alexander
and
Cummings.
Alexander Cummings, and then you have the party of UB Kanga, Liberty Party,
Yeah.
LP. So that party was founded by the late
Charles Walker Bronsky.
Charles Bronsky.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Bronsky worked in Taylor's government. He was the president pro tempore, and then he had problem with Taylor. He left. So he became a progressive. He spoke against the ill of society and all that. So somehow he detached himself. Before his death, he detached himself from the establishment. He was suspicious of Unity Party. You saw several times he refused to endorse Unity Party. He refused to endorse Unity Party in the first election. In the second one, he always skeptical of endorsing it because he felt that he's different, that he belonged to the progressive group. ANC is also trying to prove that they belong to the progressive. But when you look at their ideas, they are more closer to the establishment. That's why they always find correlation with the establishment, the bourgeoisie. So eventually what will happen, the establishment, that is the bourgeoisie, will not allow the progressive group to go in front. There will be a clash because they don't have the same ideology. They don't have the same philosophy. ANC is the flag bearer of ANC. He's a businessman. He wants to bring in changes. He has his business idea, corporate ideas that he wants to bring on the table. So he sees himself as a progressive. But the establishment group that he found himself in, they will not allow it to advance because they want to be at the center of it. That's where the clash is going to come from. So they will not go anywhere. So now I will come back to the issue of, CDC, whether they will be able, they have a plan or they don't have a plan. You see, to have a plan, to say, look, I'm going to change the society, I'm going to build roads, I'm going to build schools, I'm going to change the infrastructure. Those are promises. If you have a plan, there's in branch of philosophy, there's what we call epistemology. In epistemology, you show us the method of doing things. You say, I believe in this. Your belief is not enough. Can you show us the method at which you will arrive at this end? For example, if you say, if I become president, I will build estate and I will pay everybody 200 million or 100 million. Okay, Mr. President, how will you do it? Where will you get the money? Explain to us. Now you have to tell all the mechanisms that you will use. You see, then we will look at the fact, we will look at the data, then we can be able to analyze and question you. Because you can't just come from the blue and say, I will get 200 million and I will put it into agriculture. Well, how would you get the money? So that's where the epistemology comes in philosophy. You need to give us the process, the formula. Then we can look at people are not stupid.
But Sekou, hold on there. Let me come to you. I know I was tough on Anthony because I want Liberia to succeed. And individuals who are communicating on behalf of this opposition bloc, I want them to tell the truth because the truth is the only thing that's going to set us free. We have changed leaders here and there. We are still the same. And I think one of the reasons is there had never been a genuine plan based on real issues.
Yeah.
Well, let me come in here and say to you, these political parties are trying their best here.
Okay.
Now we know that they are in this alliance of measure, not measure in this alliance, the collaboration. Don't you think they need time to come up with a plan? And that is what they are doing because there are competing political interests here, people coming from different backgrounds. Don't you think they need time? The election is 2023, so they have time. Don't you think so?
Mr. C, this is very clear. When people come together to form a party, it's because of ideology.
Right.
It's because they have similar ideology. That's why they come together to form a political party. Now, in that ideology, you need a plan that you say, when we get the power, we can implement this. Then you sell the plan to the Liberian people. Now, you can't join together before you start thinking if your ideology match or not. That's already a failure. Okay, Democrat cannot just jump up and then they say they will form a collaborating party with any other party that they don't have the same ideology with. Okay, some people are capitalists, some are socialists. So you don't expect a capitalist to form an alliance with a socialist. It's not going to work. So what we are asking them is, what's their ideology? What's their philosophy? Why is it you call someone to join you and you don't even find out if you guys have the same ideology in the first place or not? So you don't even have a plan. The only plan you have is let's get there and share the money. That's the easier philosophy. That ideology is very simple. So it brings people together. Anyone can jump from one party to another. They do not have a conviction. They don't have an ideology. And Thomas Sankara used to say, he said, a soldier that doesn't have an ideology is a criminal in uniform. I say a politician or a political party without ideology is a house built on a sand, and it will collapse because it has no plan. It has nothing to offer the people other than lying to them, giving them promises, giving the gospel good news, so that when they get there, then they begin to figure out what they want to do. The CPP has no plan. That's why you see in Liberia, they're only there to demonstrate, to protest, and all their protest is not really in the interest of the people. It just may be to try to destroy the government and try to see whether they are popular or not. What plan do they really have? Just look at them when they come out to talk in their press conferences. Go to the so-called website you're talking about. Do they have any? Because when you say you have a plan, in politics, you have economics, you have the governance system, the politics. What plan do you have that is different from what George Weah is using? Are you a socialist?
But Sekou,
are you communist? What plan do you have? They don't have anything.
One of the things that opposition is there to do is to hold the government feet to the fire, we will say in Liberia, on the issue of governance in the country. And I think the opposition has been making the noise to their credit. You think that noise is not doing anything at all? The government has become unpopular.
It's not doing anything.
Okay.
You go to the Senate and you go to the House, the Liberian Senate and the House of Reps. You have the opposition represented there. That's where they should show us where they are oversight. That's where they should show whether they love the Liberian people. When CDC decided to conspire to remove a certain Chief Justice, the opposition joined them. Whenever CDC wants to do anything, you don't even know whether you have opposition or not. They do not speak. They do not come out to say that, no, they have a divergent view. Once the chief executive says something, they all ride with it because they know that there's a brown envelope coming to them. So trying to sympathize with young people on the street, they are just, that's hypocrisy. Because you are right there in the House where all the bills have been passed. Where is your view? Where have we seen the CPP contradicting the CDC on the floor? They always flow along. So they come out again and tell that they are against a CDC on the street. They are just trying to deceive Liberian people so they can get back to power. As I told you, that Pandora box is full of bourgeoisie and reform establishment. They have nothing new to offer the Liberian people.
Anthony, I don't know if you are prepared for the discussion, man. You're in a car, the place is dark. You're going off and on. If you don't have the time for this conversation, it's always good to ask for excuse, my man. This off and on is just distracting here. Yeah, it's
I
distracting, my
apologize.
friend.
I kept receiving phone calls. I
There
kept
is,
receiving phone calls
there
for
is
some reason.
absolutely
Every time phone call come in,
the
can you
collaborating
hear me?
political parties
We are hearing you, Anthony.
should come out.
But I know you can make very good.
Liberia is in economic crisis, recession.
Right.
From early, and most of the people in the opposition, they were in early government. They work. They are the one that set the foundation of the mess we are in right now. Okay, how can you be the foundation of the very mess that you made? Then you come back, you say you are the Messiah. Then you are now the Messiah that is coming to save the people. Why you are the one who put the people in the mess in the first place? You see, how can you do that? So I'm saying the future of Liberia is in the hands of the young people. They should rise up and create new idea, new revolution. When I say revolution, I don't mean armed revolution. I mean a change of ideas, change of political system. We should now try to enter in the 21st century, create a new republic that will be able to match up with the new development and catch up with the rest of the world. These guys that we have around, they are trying to get back their national kick. They have no ideas. They have no plan. Check all their websites, check their meetings, check their press conferences. It's all about grabbing power. They have no plan.
You heard it there. He said it's all about grabbing power, and they have zero plan when it comes to delivering Liberia. Let us come to Mr. Alexander Cummings. He's one of the leaders in the opposition bloc. To those who are opposition, he offers hope, given his impressive corporate background. And so they are counting on him, to use all his potential to help them get to the finish line. And his corporate leadership skills, they think he can harness that to give the Liberian opposition, tea to buy. Do you see that picking up, Sekou?
No, first of all, Cummings doesn't trust the establishment. He doesn't trust the Unity Party and the ALP. You can see it in the runoff election. Okay, he refused to endorse Joseph Boakai. You have to understand, because politics, you have to check the track record of every party, the history, down to the candidate itself. They are in that marriage right now because they have a common enemy, but it doesn't mean they are friends. Alexander Cummings, to due respect to him, he comes from a corporate background. He has been in the private sector. He has actually, his success cannot be attributed to public wealth. That we must be very truthful to say. However, when you look at his history, his father was an educator. He came from the middle class in Liberia before he made it finally to the United States. So he is someone I would consider a product of the bourgeoisie. He comes from that middle class that have always enjoyed Liberia's wealth, even though directly he has not worked in the government. His father was in that middle class before he traveled to the United States and studied and worked with the Coca-Cola and what have you. If you put him there, what is going to happen? His entire surrounding is going to be the same bourgeoisie who have been in power with Ellen. They will come back again with Alexander Cummings, and it will be back to square one. It will just be as if we are back to Ellen 2006. Nothing is going to change. And it's going to be very difficult for them to win, because the CDC revolution, which I call the plebeian revolution, the revolution of the poor masses, it will be very difficult to remove them, because they are skeptical of the establishment. They have tested the establishment for a very long time, and they have not seen results. So they decided to stage a plebeian revolution. The plebeian revolution is a revolution done by the poor people, the downtrodden, the masses that have suffered so long. They have not been able, they always look through the window seeing the children of the rich always on top.
Mr.
So
Kelleh,
they staged the revolution. to bring someone that look like them, that play football in West Point. They see him up there, so they have a hope that someday they also will look like him. However, their problem is that it's always like that in history. When the plebeians stage a revolution, after the revolution, they don't have the plan because they don't have the technique, they don't have the knowledge to be able to sustain the revolution. That's the problem CDC had. The poor people stage a very good revolution, and their intention is genuine, but they do not have a plan. And the man leading the revolution also does not have the technical, he doesn't have the skill. There are no technocrats to sustain that revolution. That's why that revolution is going to die.
Sekou, Kelleh making the point. Let me say to Anthony, I think you are here and you're hearing me. I cannot continue with you on the show. I cannot afford the distraction. You were notified way ahead of time. We appreciate when people are coming here as guests. You have to stay on the screen. That off and on is distracting, and I have to be able to pay attention and be able to give people who have taken their time to follow the show nothing but quality. And so that distraction, I can't afford it. So sorry, my brother. I'm sure you are there. You are hearing me. I cannot continue with you on the show. I'm sorry if you feel anyhow, but I cannot afford the distraction. You in, you out, you in the dark, and you are here in the U.S. You shouldn't be in the darkness. There's somebody in Liberia, I will understand. And that points to some of the things we're talking about opposition. This is a good friend who represent the opposition, notified way ahead of time, and now he's not prepared, going off and on in darkness. Seriously. And he's telling me that they have a plan, and we'll see the plan. Call me one, give me one person in so I can call that person to confirm that, yeah, we have a plan, we're working on it. He said he can't give me a name. And you want me to believe that? I can't believe that. I'm going to be tough on the opposition today because the government we have today is no good. I don't have my feeling to say that government is a useless government. You have a president who is thinking wokey in a major crisis. That government is useless. So the last thing I want to see is to see another group of people at the verge of coming to power, and they're not prepared, and they don't have their acts together, and they don't even have a plan. That is my frustration, and I like this frustration that I'm expressing right now because our people have had too much. I'm not suffering, but I've suffered before, and I know what it means. It takes away everything from you, your dignity and your humanity.
If I will add to what you just said.
Right.
In the 1980s, our country, we had a coup d'etat when the military took over. That was a revolution. That revolution can be termed the plebeian revolution. I'll use the word plebeian. It's a Greek word. The Romans, in the Roman society, they had a system called feudalism, where the king controlled the land. Then the people under him called the nobles, they were the ones who were in charge. The land was given to them to cultivate and then produce for the state. So the other poor people, they don't have any power. They could not become nobles, and they could not also become part of the royal. So they inherited poverty from their family, and the poverty continued from generation to generation. So they had to come together to stage a revolution to remove the class system, so there will be equality, so that they too can be part of the people enjoying the national wealth. So that's what happened in Liberia in the 80s. But why did the revolution die? It's because those who staged the revolution did not have a plan. They didn't come with technocrats. They didn't come with people with the ideas, because there is no way you can successfully stage a revolution without a plan. Because after you remove the establishment, there will be a vacuum. So that vacuum, who will fill it? You need technical, you need people who know it. It's not enough to just love your country. You need competence. You need people with the right knowledge. Okay, I don't put you behind my car to drive because I love you, you're my son. You should be a competent, you should be a qualified driver with a license. That's the only way I will get to my destination. So it's not about whether the poor people love the nation or not. CDC staged a very good revolution, I'll be frank with you. The plebeians, the poor masses decided to take their destiny. But now they are there. What is the plan? There is no plan. They are running around. Every day they are acting that they are in opposition. They are speaking as if they are in the opposition. Because why? There is no plan. They have not come to the realization that they are now the pilots sitting in the cockpit, that the plane is now in their care. They should stop complaining and take us to our destination. So the opposition, what they are trying to do is to make sure that there is more chaos as possible, so they will grab power again. Liberia return to the 1847 scenario where the poor remain poor and the big guys remain on top.
Sekou, you said something earlier that the plebeians, they see the masses see themselves in we are, and that
Yes.
is responsible for a kind of mass-based revolution from ordinary people that kind of propel the CDC to the political victory that they are enjoying and tampering with today at the detriment of our people. But you also said that while it's true they're not happy with what's going on, that does not necessarily mean that they trust the bourgeoisie, as you classify them. The only thing they want to see is that if the people who they identify with can get their act together, maybe you're suggesting that CDC might pull through again. I don't believe that. Your defense.
The CPP cannot easily dislodge CDC.
Why?
The reason is because the CPP itself is a Pandora box that will explode before election. Okay? The establishment group, they are very greedy for power. They have no plan. They want to be at the pipe where the milk and honey is flowing, so they can spend their last day drinking the milk. That's their plan. Now the progressive, they want to associate themselves with the plebeians. The progressive part of them, that is the Kumins and maybe the Yubi Kanga and what have you, they want to show the Liberian that, look, we are not part of the establishment. We want to identify with you, the poor. However, we have to move along with the establishment in order to get there. So that's where the conflict is going to, because the Liberian people will be suspicious when they see them moving around with the Unity Party that were in power yesterday. And they say, look, how can you say you are for us when you are sitting down with the kings that we dethroned yesterday? You want to bring them back to the throne so we can go back again in West Point and disappear? We can't do that. So they will have a fight, and that clash will give CDC an edge. As for CDC base, they are like Trump supporters. They will never change their mind. Someone who voted CDC 3-4 years ago, they will vote CDC again, because even that woke that George we are singing, it makes them happy. They do not care about the suffering, the lack of medicine.
Sekou,
Trust me.
I want hold on, Sekou. I disagree
I'm telling
with
you the mentality.
No, Sekou. These people are not happy. I have just spoken to a couple of people within the CDC who are actually as disgusted as you are that a president who claimed that he was basic will be in a for nothing Studio 14 to sing a song to measure the name of a concubine that he enjoys socially. Woki. It demonstrated to the highest level the unseriousness of our president. They are not happy with that, I can tell you. Many of them told me that song might even cost them Monserrato County because they are angry about that.
What you don't see is that some of these people that you are talking to, these are the intellectual branch of the CDC that talk behind the door. You can see there was a time you have a leaked tape of the party chairman criticizing the president. So this locker room talk is different from when they come out, because they all will say this thing behind back door, but when they come out in reality, they still want that guy there. But the people I'm referring to as the plebeians, these are the ordinary people who are even dancing to the music as we speak. They don't care. They don't even go to the website. They don't even want to know whether George Weah come out to say something or not. The fact that he come out, he dressed in that a beautiful African clothes and standing, he said, I am the son of a poor market woman, and I come from Point 4 or West Point. They say that's our brother. That's one of us. That's one of the Zogo who have been reformed and blessed and become a great man. So we too can become. That is already in their consciousness. You can't take that out. Until John we leave power, those people will remain loyal. The intellectual branch of the CDC.
Sekou, Sekou, you are talking as though the people have never loved a leader before to have gone against that leader subsequently. That's the picture you're painting here, and I don't want to buy it. These people are hungry. These people will reach to a breaking point. These people show semblance of that when they voted for Darius DeLong. These people show semblance of that when they rejected John Jewia, whom hand the president raised at the time. They did show another semblance of that when they vehemently voted against what her name, Paulita Weir. So the fact that their economic situation continued to deteriorate, I don't think they don't have sense to perpetuate suffering on themselves because they know that voting Weir means so. Your response?
Yeah, I understand what you mean, but the issue is there is no better alternative. There's no one in the opposite for them because they are not seeing someone right now because our society always love messiahs. We're always looking out for a savior or a hero from somewhere that will rescue us. This is because of the religious society we grew
so
up
you
in.
See, they saw Darius DeLong as the Messiah because he came up with this message, the light.
The victory of DeLong, the victory of is always, most rather County is a very different area when it comes to politics in Liberia. The opposition always win because the people in the capital city they get information. At least they are a little bit informed. But what are people in the rural area that have Jawia picture on their wall as the Messiah? Okay. What are people in the county where Grand Bass and other places that have his picture on the wall as a Messiah? That anything happening in Liberia is the opposition at the cause. It's other people that are trying to undermine him. But besides that, he's a good person. That's the idea they have. Even if the whole nation, something goes wrong today, they will say it's not George Weah. It's the other people that are trying to do this to undermine him. So they have made up their mind. George Weah's stronghold.
And Sekou, how long you think these people are going to live with this belief that it is now Weah, knowing that Weah is the president? How long you think they're going to live with this?
Until we have a Liberian who will come out to sell a new idea, give a new hope, raise the consciousness of Liberian people.
And you think Bloc and Cummings and you think the opposition as a whole, DeLong, the Costa, you think they're not making that argument? They're not selling that message?
No way. When you mention Joseph Boakai, the first thing that comes to the mind of people is like you are trying to reverse the car and take us back to the analog time.
What's about Cummings? He's the new political player on the field.
No, he has already demonstrated his talent. He has been given time by Liberian people for 40 years. He was in the civil service. Whatever he has given in 40 years, he did not give in 40 years.
No, I'm talking about Mr. Alexander Cummings, the man from the corporate world, the man who have seen billions, Liberia need billions to rebuild.
Yes, Cummings came on the political scene as a new hope. That's why he came third in the first attempt. But now he's in collaboration with the establishment. So Liberians and the ordinary people on the street are seeing that. Cummings with Boakai, Cummings with former Chancellor Banana Ure, Cummings passing around. So this Cummings is actually representing the establishment. When you bring him back, they will bring all the guys from the establishment to surround himself, and it will be back again to zero. So Cummings shot himself in the leg when he joined these people who are failure, who are incompetent, who have been tested and they fail. So Cummings joining them, he thinks that he tried to gain some weight because in politics you make concessions. I understand that. But Cummings, if he remained the way he did the last time, he refused to endorse any of the parties. If he stay like that and keep on selling his idea to Liberian people, They might test him. But as it stands right now, he has tinted himself with these guys because these guys are failures. So putting himself in that Pandora box, he is going to explode with them.
So are you saying that the Liberian people in majority will rather settle for President Weah in the CDC for the second time?
Yes, once the election comes and George Weah begin to pass around, and his people will use the tribal card because they don't have idea to sell. So they're going to use the plebeian card to say, we are the poor masses, we are the one that downtrodden. They tried to undermine the country from 1847, and remember, and then these people they are Congo, they will use the tribal card. They will use all those things. Then the ordinary man on the street, that message will resonate. They will say, oh, no, let's keep our man, things will be okay.
So Sekou, what kind of leadership do you want for Liberia? Another Georgia leadership or a CPP leadership? What do you want?
Liberia needs a revolutionary and a progressive mind.
Okay.
Someone who has seen the suffering of Liberian people from the 80s to the 90s down. Someone who belongs to the generation of refugees, the generation that actually went through refugee school, suffered, and then went through that. And today they want to participate, to say never again, never again.
I don't know of one. I don't know of one in a race or even floating the idea of jumping in the race. You're painting a very hopeless situation here, Sekou.
Yes, the issue is that we are telling young people to get involved. They think politics is about those who have some money in their pocket and those who are powerful and those who have certain connections. This is how politics is being portrayed today. That an ordinary man cannot rise up from anywhere and say, look, I have the idea, I have the technique, I have the skill, and these are my ideas I want to bring on the table. For Liberian people to look beyond tribe, look beyond religion, look beyond all these things. That's somebody who have the knowledge, someone who has the technique, and someone who can explain, articulate their ideas, and we can hold their feet to fire to say, you said 1 + 1 is 2. Now you didn't do it. But not people who don't have plan, but they use the plebeian card, they use the tribal card, they use the division. They divide the people and then they get their popularity through division. We don't want these kind of people now.
Wow. Now, Sekou, let's do this. Let's do this.
The Coastal Group. The Coastal Group you were talking about. You know, I told you the opposition they have both the establishment, the reform establishment, and you have the opportunists. The opportunists, they are in CDC and they are also in the opposition. The Coastal then belong to that branch called the opportunists. They do not have an idea. They don't have any plan. They don't have any ideology. They don't even love the opposition. They don't even love those people in power. They have their own self-interest. So whenever their interest is served, then they move. They always hang their clothes where the sun shines. So Costa is like that. And there are a lot of groups like that following that. They are opportunists. It's not that they are any kind of opposition that trying to push an agenda or pressure group that want to change certain law in the country or they are civil rights activists. No, these are opportunists. Whenever they can get 1 or 2 cents from you, they blackmail you. If they can't get anything, then they move to the other side. So they are political thugs. They are being used by political parties to blackmail people and police other people. Even CDC can use Costa tomorrow if they so wish. All they need to do is to drop something in his account, call him, set up a conference. Tomorrow morning, the guy called, he's talking with Chief. He did it before. So they have groups like that. Even within the CDC, you have people like that. They are opportunists. They are not with the plebeians, but they join just to get their own cut. So these are the most dangerous groups in Liberia that we have to watch out.
Sekou, you are describing some individuals in the opposition bloc as political contractors willing to take a contract so that their packet or their part, my man Dennis Jai will say here, for their part to ball.
Yes.
Wow.
So these people, as you say, I love that Liberian water, they always go where the pot is boiling. When their pot is not boiling, they move. Okay? All of you know when CDC came to power, And then they contacted Costa. Costa came on the show. Some of us we can still remember. He said he can't kill himself or Liberian people. He has been fighting all this battle for all long, and then he's been suffering. He went to jail. He even posted a picture how he went to jail in Ellington. That you think he will keep on suffering? No, he's done with this struggle. He went and took a picture with Joe Williams. But it's
you remind me, Sekou, of
yes,
what's his name? Chris Bonsele, and now this guy will call my Jabata.
Exactly. Mike is also in that group, my brother Mike. So these people are opportunists. They hang their clothes where the sun shines. And they understand the political culture of Liberia. That look, all these parties don't have a philosophy, they don't have a ideology. So if you can ride with them, you get something in your account, just do it. So they are among the journalists, you find them also in the civil service, you find them everywhere. These are the most dangerous group, and they can sacrifice the nation for their own self-interest. We should watch out for them, and Liberians should stop calling them hero. You should watch people what they say, watch their track record. They say when a man walks, he leaves his footprint on the sand of time. So we can trace him by those steps and know that this is where he has passed. So we can judge him based on his record.
Sekou, I know earlier you were trying to describe what a political revolution, a political movement that will suggest to you that Liberia is really for real change should look like. I'm going to push you again because
Yes.
you are giving me nothing but hopelessness as you describe the situation of Liberia the way you see it best. So tell me, what political movement, what political group, what political what is the word? Change that you want to see that you can put some hope and faith in for Liberia?
Yes. First of all, since 1840, after 1984, when the multi-party democracy started, everyone thought it was time for the competition of ideas. That people will create political parties and they will sell their idea to Liberia because the True Party is done. It's no more one party. Everyone have to put your head in one box. Now, those say, okay, everyone create your party and come. Sell your ideas to Liberian people. So for some people, that was a relief. That was good news because now we could have different ideas on the table. But what happened, unfortunately, we have political parties that come with tribal message. So their voters, actually the election is about tribal census. It's not about selling idea. Then we moved down to a point where it was all about the big guy, those who have the money, those who can call Washington, those who have connection to Washington, D.C. That's how they ailing them. Those who have connection with international community, that's how they get into power. Now we've gone through the Civil War. We've tried tribalism, it didn't work. We've tried sectionalism, regionalism, it didn't work. We've tried a religious card, it has not worked. We've tried all the methods, it has not worked. Now we have gotten to this stage. What do we need? We need people who are national. We need nationalist movement, a nationalist movement, someone who will come to rekindle the spirit of the soul of Liberia. And that soul is liberty and freedom. Liberia was built on that principle. Someone who would tap into that and revive the dead spirit of Liberia and say, this is what we were built. This country was built on this principle, liberty and freedom. And liberty and freedom, you cannot have it if you don't have economic and military sovereignty. And
Sekou,
we need to give dignity back to our people. Someone who has the right knowledge to articulate this message and also love the country. That's the people we need. But we don't have none of these people right now on the political scene.
but Sekou, someone, I'm tempted to accuse you of preaching political fantasy, something that you just imagine. You know it's not going to come anytime soon. But the thing is, we have a opposition bloc now that is doing all it can to unseat President Weah, and we have, as a country, to look among them and make a decision. And if we can't find somebody among them, we have to settle again for Woki Woki or the current CDC administration. Which way would you rather go, Sekou?
I would say to the Liberian people, young people, rise up and look at other nations around you. Look at the progress in Ghana. Look at the progress in Rwanda. Let's leave the Western nation. Look
But
at the
Sekou, you can
progress.
never know who the leader gonna be until that
You will
leader
know.
is elected. You can't look at people on the outside and say, "Well, I know this is who he's gonna be." Bwaka has never been president before. Comey has never served as president before. These guys might come to power like Marabio, some people think he's doing, and they might be the one. We don't know. So
No,
we have to make a decision as a country. And
no.
you are saying the opposition does
The
not overhope
culture,
in any alternative?
one of the things people should avoid in democracy is to recycle politicians. It's very, very dangerous. When you recycle politicians, what you are doing is that you are killing the younger generation that are coming out with new ideas. The Liberians of today, I'm not saying anyone in that 25 down, they are not interested in tribalism. They are not interested in this regionalism. They are not interested in religious affiliation and what have you. They are not interested. They are interested in what can you deliver? What can you do? Because they are on Facebook. They are seeing other nations, people rising. They are seeing other nations coming out of poverty. So we have the new generation of Liberian. I am saying, look among yourself, you young Liberians, and start a revolutionary movement that will kind of push this nation into the 21st century. Leave these guys on the political scene right now. The old politicians, retire them. Retire them. They have no new idea to offer. George Weah only fault is that he's incompetent. And he staged a plebeian revolution and they are in a driver's seat. They don't know what direction to take us. So remove them. Look for competence. Look for people who are capable of the job. The new generation of Liberians, those who did not partake in the Civil War, rise up and do something for Liberia. That's what I can say.
All right. I will give you the final question and then I will bring in my caller. Folks in cyberspace, this is Focus on Liberia. This is the Hour of Politics. I'm your guy, Anthony CA, and we are microscoping the Liberian opposition bloc. I am fired up today. The opposition, they need to show it to me. I have not seen. I don't even smell it. I don't even smell it for them. They are still fighting among themselves. Some of them go live and bash others. Yeke Koluba the other day said that it's not working. He's crying like a baby for support. After playing Mr. Tough Man all over the place, he cries like a baby. What does he want? You are a representative for Christ's sake, crying that people are not supporting him. And some people are falling for that garbage. You open your mouth wide and you use invectives, and people are loving that? Liberia, what is going on here? But Sekou, I'm going to say to you, Liberia must make a decision whether or not to go with the current government or to go with the opposition. So now that we already have the current government, let's look at what options do we have among the opposition. Let me give you some potatoes and bitter balls here. So comes 2023, if the opposition have to pick, the lesser evil, can they go with a Bwaka Cummings or a Cummings Bwaka? Can they settle for a Cummings DeLong or a DeLong Cummings? Or can they settle for a DeLong Costa or a Costa DeLong? The oranges are not good enough for you?
Well, they are very interesting how you did the combination. You went in the Pandora box and just pick and then join.
Well, you told me now you were going to open the Pandora box, so I open it for you. Now, so try to pick among them.
Thank you for opening the box.
Yeah.
To deal with these individuals as politicians, that deal with the institution that they represent is another thing. Now, let's come to Bwakai and Kumis. Now, Bwakai Kumis ticket cannot work. Bwakai was vice president. He won't like to be a vice president anymore. he wants to be your president. So a Bwakai president with Kumi vice president is a disaster. It's like we are going backward. Nothing's going to happen. That ticket will die naturally. It won't go anywhere. Now, Costa, please don't. Costa is not a politician. Costa is a talk show host and I would say a hustler. Okay, I'm very sorry I have to use that line. It's based on his own record. So Costa on any ticket is not going to go. So Costa tried before. He ran. I don't know whether as a senator or House of Rep, one district in Monrovia.
Yeah, he ran as a representative before. I believe that was district number
Okay,
6. He
the results
failed, but
speak for itself.
George, we have failed 2 times before winning 2. So
yes, I know, but the results are there. He should look at the figure because he thinks when you go on the phone and you have 2,000 followers, it means that translates into votes. No, your enemies, your friends, and your foes, they all come to your show to watch. So the number of views you have doesn't translate into votes. So Henry Costa on any ticket for presidency is
Sekou,
zero. It's not going to go anywhere.
people said that, but Darius DeLong, when he started his campaign, said, well, all the
No,
people on
DeLong,
Facebook were not going to vote, and it's translated into real votes.
I did not see DeLong that way. When it comes to DeLong, I do not put DeLong in the establishment. I consider DeLong to be like Kumis, people who call themselves progressive, but actually their background is kind of still linked to the establishment. But DeLong formed part of the progressive, but he needs to prove himself. He needs to prove it because his words alone are not enough. Actually, if you look at the senatorial ticket to the election that's coming up, I believe DeLong is much better than that guy that's coming from the ruling party. But DeLong for presidency now, I said no. Where he is right now, let him try to prove himself first. But put him on
the thing is, if Liberia can settle for president, we are now. What's wrong with settling for DeLong? Is he now a human being? Does he not have intellect enough to make a decision?
No,
because we was entrusted with the Senate. DeLong is not entrusted with the Senate. Weah is serving as president. Is it because you are assuming that, okay, Weah is not doing well, so maybe DeLong will not do well?
Yeah, the thing that we think our presidency is a place where we should try people. And that's not a place to test people. When you dare use the presidency as a place to test people, you will send the nation to hell. The presidency is a place that we should send people who are tested and trusted.
But Sekou, the thing is, people who have become president have never served a president before, for the most part.
Yeah, but we should look at their track record, whether it be in the corporate world, whether it be in the private sector, wherever they have served. Let's look at their track record.
Sekou, in America, we have a guy who came from the corporate world, Donald J. Trump. He is a mess. He is a disgrace to America. So we can't use that. We will have to try these people before we know.
Donald Trump issue is a populist movement that he used. He appealed to the poor white masses and the right wing extremists. He appealed to their ideology. So it resonated with them. That's what got him there. But he knows, everyone knew that he wasn't competent for the job. They knew that. But because there was this group of white people who felt America was growing, leaving them behind, they felt that Barack Obama, America has introduced new things, change. America has become a liberal state, and their white privilege is being taken away. So they were in that fear. So Donald Trump appealed to that fear and said, wake up, white people, we need to take America back again. They say, oh yeah, that's true. So this is what he used. George Weah appealed to the plebeians and said, look, I play football among you. I'm a poor, I'm a son of a market woman. Put me there, and then you all in the West Point will become like me someday. That's what resonated. Now, when you bring a man like DeLong, the message, DeLong cannot appeal to the plebeians. DeLong cannot appeal to the middle class or educated.
But DeLong is doing that. Even Yaka Koluba, despite his foul mouth, is appealing to the plebeians.
DeLong has to struggle 2 times than George Weah in order to be successful. That is, he needs to present his plan, articulate his plan, and be 100% more trustworthy than Weah in order for him to get there. Because he doesn't have those cards that they play to get there. So he needs to show to the Liberian people that he can do it differently. And he needs to prove it. I know in the Senate, the few times he spent there, he actually shows signs of the kind of new Liberia that we want. But we hope it's not all politics, that he's sincere with it. We will see it.
Thank you. Folks, it is time for you to get your calls rolling in. Please. Hey, Mr. Double, I saw you here. I was about to bring you in, but you fell off. Folks, the number is on the screen there. It is scrolling right there. 605-313-6004. You need to enter the code after that number. That is 791-403#, so that you can come in and participate. I'm ready to take phone calls now, so that you can have your say or forever hold your peace. And folks, if you are calling in with all the things we talk, I am giving you to pick from all these oranges and potatoes and bananas for you to tell me which one would be better for the opposition. And so to those who are about to call, my question for you is, what should be the ticket for the CPP, to hold? A Bwaka Cummings, a Cummings Bwaka, a Cummings DeLong, or a DeLong Cummings, a DeLong Costa, or a Costa DeLong? That that are your choices, and I want you to pick from them. First caller is here, and he is Kelleh Double. Double, are you going with Costa DeLong or Bwaka Cummings? Kelleh? Hold on. All right, go ahead. Kelleh, go ahead. Kelleh, I can't hear you. What's going on? Hello there.
The line is bad.
Hold on.
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you now. Go ahead.
Yeah. Good evening, and good evening to your guests.
Yeah, welcome. We're not wasting time. We got some apples and oranges you need to pick. Are you going with a Bwaka Cummings, a Cummings Bwaka, or a Cummings DeLong, or DeLong Cummings, DeLong Costa, or Costa DeLong? Pick among the oranges and tell me what you're going with.
I can take the first one, Bwaka Cummings, with Bwaka heading the ticket. And I can tell you that with Bwaka heading the ticket, it can be a phenomenal force to Georgia come 2023. For sure, if you have that ticket, it can work for the Liberian people. And I hear my brother in studio saying that we should take young people, just entirely young people, and change things around. I don't think it can work like that. Government as a whole, not just government, any organization for that matter, to just want to take young people just based on mere education, just because we think we are educated and we can make a difference out there, and that it can work. We need older people somehow, one way or the other. We might not need all of them, but we need some of them to put on the ticket. Yeah.
Mr. Double, are you underestimating the potential and the quest, the zest of the young people to see a better Liberia? We heard about this guy called Thomas Sankara. How old was he? We heard about Martin Luther King. We heard about Bacchus Matthew. Many young leaders around the world, they were young, they were in their 30s. They came and they shook tables. So why are you doubting the young people? Are you not capable enough to be president?
Let us see. With no disrespect to the young people, I can tell you Liberia has some decent, well-educated and mature young people, younger generation. Even the Thomas Sankara is thinking about, the Martin Luther King is talking about, he did not do it all by himself. Mixture of older people, while we the young people are there, having the older people propping up from the bike, giving us some little advances that will help to carry us through, can help to make a difference. But if we say we just come to the table, Thomas Sankara came in here do it all by himself. Thomas Sankara government was mixed with older people in his government. He did not do it all by himself. It was not just him, he alone. It is not a bad thing to the young people. It is no disrespect to the young people. But to say to have intelligent young people among ourselves, I can tell you, man, there will be trouble, and there will be serious trouble.
Thank you.
Just all of us, from head to toe, just young people, it won't work.
Thank you.
No disrespect to the young people of Liberia, but it won't work. Thank you.
You have painted a picture that is hopeless for me, that the young people can't do it. Who's going to do it? We're going to rely on these old folks, to be the one to do it. Let me bring James Quay in. James, welcome. Where are you joining us from? Quickly to the issue, I got some apples and oranges for you. Which one you going with?
Thank you very much. I'll go with all the fruits. I eat all fruits. I'm calling you from New Jersey.
Quickly.
Okay. First of all, let me say thank you to your studio guest.
Okay.
I'm not sure if I ever heard him before, but I totally disagree with his conception, a lot of what he said, especially with regard to how he thinks that there is no hope for Liberia in these politicians we have presently.
Right.
The fact about the matter here is that we need to understand that when we talk about giving leadership to the younger people, in my belief, there is no younger generation that you can think of as compared to what we have now. Just Weah represents the younger generation, in my belief. And in his government, there are so many young people. But are things going right? Is a question to him to answer. I guess in my own view, things are not going right. There is no way that.
Well, maybe he's not a right young man. Maybe he's not a right young man.
The right young man, that's what he's supposed to have said, the right young man. But you can't say just young people. Young people, we got good people among the young group of people. We got bad people and also among them. So what we need to understand is this. In politics, you have to always fly your new mat on the old mat. This is what I thought Josh Weah would have done. Okay? So what you need to do is this. Young people, in as much as we want to come into leadership, we have to learn from people. We have to see from people. So you were asking a question because I don't want to take too much of the time.
Yes, please.
Whose ticket I think is the best?
Yes.
For Liberia at this time. Look, I am an ANC man, and I'm proud to be an ANC man. But my belief, as I have seen in Liberian politics, as I ran the campaign in the last two elections, it is not possible. It is not possible for any opposition to become a president and defeat George Weah without trying to have a liaison or liaise with former Vice President Joseph Bloc.
Okay.
So in my belief, what I would do is, if I'm Mr. Cummings, I will run as the second to Juma Bloc and make him to sign a memorandum or make him to sign a commitment that he runs for one term.
Well, then pick up the phone and call Cummings so that he can strike that deal.
Yes, that's what I could do. Okay, ask them to do this particular deal. The reason is this, because Mr. Cummings will need Bloc. Bloc has been a vice president. He has many connections. We may not believe it. We may not think so. The reason why George Weah government is suffering is because we brought in too many new people on board.
All right.
Who have no connection to the outside world.
Thank you. Thank you. Right. I don't think because they are new, it's because they're not. I think it's because they are not doing their job. If they were doing their job, things would be happening. It's not because they are new. Rather recently, I got a job, and I'm doing well. It's not because I'm new on the job. It's because I know what I'm doing. I was trained to do it, and I'm doing it. So whether new or not, do what you were hired to do, and the country should be okay. Folks in cyberspace, you have been watching Focus on Liberia. This is our program, The Hour of Politics, and we have been microscoping Liberia opposition bloc. We wanted to know whether these people have it in them to represent Liberia or to present Liberia an alternative. But from my look of things, they don't have it. They are struggling among themselves. They are divided. They are fighting. It took them 2 years to put in place a document binding them together. My friend Anthony Gaye said they have a plan, but he won't call who I can call to confirm that. They don't have a plan. That is my conclusion. Mr. Gaye, who have made a solid contribution here because I know his ability, but my judgment is that he was not prepared. Let me come to you, Sekou. We have to wrap it up here. So, my final question to you, now that from what you said, that the opposition is now ready in every shape and form, given the way they have conducted themselves, they don't have a message, they are all over the place. I'm paraphrasing you here. What do? We just sit and cry our own cry?
No, we can't. First of all, when I talk about the person who should come and save Liberia, how are we going to know? First of all, let's look at the issues that have been disturbing this country since 1847. Our governance system. We have a system where the president is the king. All power, the power the president has, he used that power to appoint from the executive control the remaining two branches of government. We have not been able to free the executive and the judiciary from the legislature and the judiciary. We have not been able to separate them from the executive. Throughout Liberia history, the president always had control over the two branches of government. And it's very dangerous because there is no oversight. There is no way there will be check and balance of power. And those things need to be addressed. Does this presidential system work? Because we just copy and paste it from the United States and we just wanted to be Americans. Is it working for us? Do we need a president at all? Or we need a prime minister? Is this even working? That's one. Two, the economic system. We are having dual currency. The United States dollar is floating. The Liberian dollar is floating. Is there any need to change that? Has any presidential candidate come up with a plan? Because when you talk of sovereignty, it's military and economics. If you don't have the economic and military sovereignty, you don't have a country. You just have a group of people together having a passport. That's not a country. So do we have an economic sovereignty? Or are we receiving dictate from Washington? What are we doing with our economics? These are things that we wanted to address. Now we have Chinese, Lebanese, everyone coming in. Liberia is a cake, everyone coming and cutting Firestone on the other side. What are these people? What kind of plan do they have to push Liberia in the 21st century, change our governance system, change our economic system? So we see new new ideas coming in. We are not seeing any of that. Everybody just saying the everybody need a US dollar in their pocket. Whether it's destroying the nation or not, we just need it. We just want to keep it. So these are some of the things that we don't see them discuss. I do not say the future is hopeless. I believe that the young Liberians, when I say young people, I'm not just saying about age. I also talk about competence. People who are competent. They have seen what we've gone through from the Civil War up to this point. We've tried various methods. It has not worked. We need young Liberians who are competent to come on board and bring in new ideas. The people who formed the United States, the older person in that group was 35 or 30. The remaining people were young people in their 20s. So when someone said there and tell you young people are stupid or they are naive, they can run government, that's a lie. When the United States was formed, the older person there was not more than 35 or so. There was all young people. They sat down, they had a vision, they wanted a United States and they did it. And you mentioned Sankara, a lot of presidents like that, they were young people and they transformed their nation. I believe the guys that are running, they're steering the affairs of that country right now. They have no direction. There's no destination for us. We need young people to rise up and create a new Liberia.
We need the young people to rise up and create that new Liberia. He's seeing hope in the young people, but it seems to be the young people are hardy. I don't know what they're looking for. Are they underestimating themselves because they don't have money? Are they underestimating themselves because they don't have contact? And what is contact, by the way? We've heard that many times. Ellen Harley, Joya Harley, Where are we? Some people even floated the idea that Charles Taylor had it because he had the bigger guns. And then Mbango was on him. And Liberians started crying for a cup of rice. And suffering became the nickname of that group of people in a land that I so dearly love. And that is why when I see opposition people playing around, when they are possibly the one to succeed, the hopeless one that we have, I can't wait but to ask these tough questions. What is the plan of the opposition? I want to see it. In Liberia today, we are still appointing superintendents. We are still appointing city mayors. We are not appropriating our budget on the basis of counties. We have a legislature that will appropriate $33 million for themselves and appropriate $10 million for the 15 counties they represent. That is about $23 million more than what they have given themselves. And so when I look at my Liberia, when I look at my people, I want to shed tears. But I can't just cry because crying never solves a problem. Coming with a plan does. And if the opposition want to be the one to save my country, they better have a plan. Don't tell me we have it. Don't tell me you can't give me somebody who I can call to confirm that at least you are working on it. Mr. Gaye, sorry, I'm not on you, my friend, but I am on the people that want to succeed. This government that is of no use for now to our people. I want to see a better government. And that better government, I know it won't come from anywhere else, but from the opposition. And that is why I want them to get it right. They must get it right. Because the people of Liberia deserve better. I remember waking up in the morning and not having that first cup of red to eat until sometime 4 p.m. I would drink just a cup of water. I have people to testify. I've been there. And so, folks, I can't talk enough, but to tell you, I have a song for you. And that song says, we are all Liberians. Liberia is that only country, and DeLong will say that we cannot be deported from. We must love that country with everything and start playing football with it. Sekou, thank you for coming. I will reach out to you. We can do this again because it's maybe the best contribution we can make right now. We are not the bourgeoisie, to take that political cake and marry Meg with it. Maybe we can pick consciousness into the head of our friends and then they will make that right choice for our people. Thank you, my friend. Folks, thanks for watching. Like our Facebook page, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and we will appreciate that. Thank you and bye-bye.
Thank you.
We are Liberia. Liberia is our